Meine Damen und Herren, ich habe den Bundespräsidenten soeben um die Entlassung des Bundesministers der Finanzen gebeten.
Germany's three-party coalition has collapsed after ministers from the Free Democrats quit the government.
Scholz fired his finance minister last week, leading to the collapse of his three-way coalition.
Like most people entering their 30s, Germany is also going through an existential crisis. What happened essentially is that the current German government fell apart after disagreements between Olaf Scholz, who is the chancellor and the leader of SPD, and the finance minister Christian Lindner, who is also the leader of FDP. Now, FDP is essentially a party which really believes in stricter financial discipline, whereas the Greens and SPD want to spend more. They want to figure out more ways of spending money for the green initiatives and the social welfare system. But if you also take a look at all of the spending which Germany did, and I think Germany has been amongst countries the second largest country which has spent a lot of money in Ukraine, FDP was not very happy about it. In August 2024, Finance Minister Christian Lindner announced plans to significantly reduce Germany's military aid to Ukraine by 2025, citing budgetary constraints and a commitment to fiscal responsibility. Now, that was not something which the SPD was very happy about. Christian Lindner wanted to put a debt brake. That is, like, it does not become a situation like USA, where you have such insane amount of debt that you just do not know how long the government is going to last and when the financial system collapse in the future. So essentially, FDP was saying that, hey, let's not spend so much money, whereas SPD and the Greens were not a big fan of this idea. This led to disagreements, and now we are going to have the snap elections, which is going to happen on 23rd February 2025. Also soon, the vote of confidence is happening in the German parliament, which Olaf Scholz is most probably going to lose, but that's why all of this situation is happening. The opinion polls and everything are essentially not putting SPD in a great light. This election will decide how Germany is going to handle the immigration, the economy, and its role in Europe in the next few years. So what does this political situation mean for you as a student, professional, or even as a parent? The interesting thing is, in Germany, you have the opinion polls happening almost every single week. You have results published on this website called wahlrecht.de, and I'm going to show you the screenshot from that. The first thing you see, and we are going to go to the last column, which is the YouGov, which kind of gives you the average of all of the other things. CDU-CSU, Merkel's party, is essentially the strongest now at 33%. This party has ruled Germany for multiple terms, and the chances are they're going to come back again in power in Germany. They also launched a lot of big initiatives like the Fachkräfteeinwanderungsgesetz and so on, which is like the skilled worker immigration laws, things like that. They were very pivotal in easing immigration in Germany. But immigration, what they were thinking about was more for the people who are skilled workers. But what Merkel did at that time was something which really caused a lot of political instability, which you're seeing right now, which is letting almost 1 million refugees inside in Germany just in the year of 2015. That's CDU-CSU, you know this party. SPD, you also know this party. Olaf Scholz is the leader of SPD, where CDU-CSU is more center-right, SPD is more center-left. And they have more of these liberal policies, whereas like CDU-CSU are supposed to be more on the conservative side, but everything that they did in the previous terms were somehow just mixed. That did not make sense. SPD is just at 15%. And this was the largest party in the elections in 2021. So you're seeing like how much it has declined. You can also see the comparison of these results in the next column, which is the Bundestagswahl. And you're seeing CDU-CSU is actually going from 24.1% to 33%. And SPD has fallen from 25.7% to just 15%. I do not understand who these 15% are and why they're voting for this, but well, you have all sorts of people. Then you have the Greens. They kind of stay stable. I do not understand that. So like no matter what kind of like policies they bring, no matter what kind of taxes they invent, there's still like this percentage of people who are happy to vote for them. FDP is the party which I really liked. I was really rooting for the party previously in 2021 because I was also hoping that if FDP comes in the majority or has a big part of seats, that there's going to be some kind of better changes in terms of taxation and also how easy it is to conduct business in Germany and so on. But unfortunately, they were just at 11.5%, and now if you see, the polls are expecting them to be just at 5%. Die Linke, the far left party, they are just at 3%. AfD, which is the far right party, they are at 19%. BSW is the Bündnis, Sarah Wagenknecht, and The interesting thing is, like, I was never expecting this to happen. Like, I used to watch YouTube videos of Zara Wagenknecht, and this is something I've also mentioned to the students of the Faster German B2 course on Big Academy. I really liked her ideas about many different topics. So I used to watch her videos, and I found the way she would explain things actually very interesting. At that time, she was not even getting the chair for Die Linke because she was a part of Die Linke at that time, but her ideas were not far left. And that's why she was like having a lot of difficulty in finding like-minded people in her own party. And then the idea came to start a party of her own. Previously she was like, no, like we don't know like if you want to do that or not, but now you see that the party is there, and 7% is still a number higher than FDP. So it's still a significant number, and there is a possibility it grows in the future. So very interesting. Here's the funny thing, which many of you might simply not be familiar with when you're taking a look at elections in different countries. If you take a look at elections in India, like, you had some kind of coalitions in the past, but recently more and more you are having like just one party like taking all of it. Probably the trend changes again in the future, but right now, like, at least that is the case. Like, BJP is the dominant power, and you're not really having that many coalitions. And even if you're having coalitions, you don't need to have the coalition with like, two other parties, but generally just like one party or something, and the problem is solved. The situation which is happening in Germany, because you're allowing so many different parties to simply exist and fight for elections and so on, is that you are coming to situations where no single party is essentially able to appeal to a large number of voters. And the situation which is happening is you're then having multiple different kind of parties getting added to this one party and making a government, which is resulting in something what happened in 2021, which is the traffic light coalition, which was the SPD, the Greens, and the FDP. The problem with that was you simply cannot get anything done. That's why it's going to be very interesting, like how the coalition gets made in the future. One thing is for sure, that CDU is going to be the dominant power in the next elections in 2025. But again, this is a party you're completely familiar with. So this was the party which was before 2021, during the times when many students like me were actually studying in Germany, and it was actually a very nice and decent environment. There were of course people who did not agree on things. For example, like I mentioned, this refugee crisis where Merkel allowed 1 million refugees to enter Germany in 2015 without any kind of plans for integration. This was not something which many people were happy about. And this also was a trigger in the rise of AfD, because if you take a look at the AfD numbers, in 2021 it's 10.3%, and now it just keeps on rising now to 19%. So we don't know like how things are going to look in the future, but at least for now, AfD also believe that you do need immigration, but you do need like even more controlled immigration in terms of who is allowed to come and so on. Because in the names of skilled workers, you also see scenarios sometimes where like some kind of fake documents are submitted and so on, and people still come to live in Germany and essentially sometimes throw their passports away. This kind of abuse does happen, and that's why these kind of parties exist. So the only way for this party to essentially not grow further in strength is going to be if the coalition which gets made now on 23rd February 2025 is going to be something decent, is going to be something which essentially works on solving the current problems of Germany, of immigration, of economy, of the public sentiments. Germany's major political parties are led by fascinating personalities, each with unique approaches to leadership and governance. Let's take a closer look. First up, Friedrich Merz, the comeback king of German politics. If Merkel was the friendly face of stability, Merz is a stern uncle who doesn't have time for small talk. Born in 1955, this guy has been around for a while. A corporate lawyer by trade, he's all about order and discipline. Think strict immigration policies, tight budgets, and no-nonsense governance. Then we have Olaf Scholz, Germany's current chancellor. Scholz has faced scandal after scandal, from mishandling Germany's Wirecard fraud case to allegations of mishaps in Hamburg's Cum-Ex tax fraud scheme. His reputation as Mr. Reliable is definitely looking shaky, and let's be real, when you're kicking out your own finance minister Christian Lindner because of internal clashes, it's clear the party is over. Next, Alice Weidel. Now here's a leader who thrives on controversy, co-leader of the far-right AfD. Weidel is all about making headlines, and not always for the right reasons. She's unapologetically anti-immigration and anti-EU, and let's face it, anti a lot of things. Her party's rising popularity in Eastern Germany has a lot of people worried. Robert Habeck, the philosopher turned politician. With his background in literature and philosophy, he's all about big ideas, saving the planet, renewable energy, and a sustainable future. Sounds great, right? But here's the issue. He's been so laser focused on climate change, he's lost the sight of economic challenges right in front of him. And when you're the Vice Chancellor and Minister of Economic Affairs, that is kind of a big deal. Last but not least, Christian Lindner, the man is smooth like business pitch in a tailored suit smooth. As the leader of the FDP, he's the poster boy for free market capitalism. He's all about digital innovation, lower taxes, and keeping the government out of your wallet. So what's the prognosis for the future? We saw the election table previously, how CDU-CSU is looking like the strongest party, and then there are other parties like coming together. If CDU leads the coalition, expect stricter immigration controls and policies aimed at integrating skilled professionals more effectively. While this might make it harder for low-skilled workers, skilled professionals, especially in STEM field, will likely see more structured opportunities. And that is something which is positive for most of the Indian aspirants, because you're essentially trying to go into the STEM fields, engineering, IT, and so on, and that is going to be easy for you. Changes in immigration policy. Applying for finding a job in Germany or applying for studying in Germany is best done now and not later. The best thing to do is to start working on things now. You know that on Big Academy, we are essentially focusing only on Germany. We don't focus on any other country, US, Canada, whatever. We do one country and we do one country great. So if you want to look for finding jobs in Germany, or if you want to study in Germany, or if you want to learn German, we have affordable and dedicated courses for all of these, which you can take a look at on our website. If you have some kind of other concerns and you want to sit down and speak to me, you can also find the link for booking consultations with me with the link given in the description. Educational reforms is the second thing I'm thinking about. While German universities will continue to welcome international students, funding cuts or introduction of tuition fees can introduce the cost of education. You have to remember that these things only happen for the new batches. That means if you're already a student at the time when this law is implemented, it is not going to be implemented on you because you were already a student at that time. It is always going to be implemented on the new students who are going to be coming later on. So I still think the best time for you is still to really push for the summer semester and the winter semester. You have time for that, and we are there to help you. So the two things you definitely have to do, like no matter how the elections go, is focus on learning German. And like I mentioned, we have faster German courses from A1 to B2, which you can do completely in the comfort of your home. These are online courses, which you can watch as many times as you want. And these are affordable and you can go through them faster because you're not going to places, you're not spending time in a group and so on. And this really takes you from the level of A1 to B2 in 5 months with the time investment of around 40 hours per week. When you're doing that, you could be sure that you will be finishing the B2 level in 5 months. The second thing you can do is think about if you want to start the process of studying right now, or if you want to start the process of finding a job or something right now, because those are also areas where we can help you out. Positive takeaways: why Germany is still the best choice. World-class education. German universities are amongst the best globally, offering cutting-edge research opportunities and a diverse student community. Demand for skilled workers. We all know that the German education is growing older, which means there's higher demand for skilled workers, especially in the field of IT, engineering, and healthcare. While Germany faces a few challenges, it still continues to embrace its diversity. It's still welcoming towards people, even right now. If you subtract the AfD, which is 19%, you still have the rest of 81% people who are still positive towards foreigners, who are still welcoming, who still believe that if you're coming to their country, you should respect their culture, their values, and if you do that, everything's fine. So that's something you have to keep in mind when you're seeing all of these videos where people are complaining about, oh, I cannot find a job in Germany and things like that. I have B2 level. B2 level is nothing special. If you really want to go into jobs like consulting and you want to become a management consultant, you will need to have somewhere around C1, C2 level. Below that, it doesn't make sense for them because they can just get a native German who speaks German better than you, does not have any kind of problems in dealing with clients and so on. That is something you have to keep in mind. If your German is great, your chances for getting selected for different kind of jobs rises exponentially. So what's now? The most important thing is to keep yourself informed on how things are developing, but at the same time, remember that whatever changes which are going to come, these are simply not going to be applicable for you if you're applying in the short term. So if you're applying for something 6 months to even 1 year, many of these changes which you could be thinking about are not going to affect at least you. So till that time, we're going to have more clarity on how things are going to develop. But at least for now, the only thing you should be focusing on is learning German, getting better at it. If you haven't started learning German, you can start learning German now, directly from the comfort of your home. And if you want to find jobs, if you want to start your application process for German universities, public universities, and so on, all of those things we support you with. You can take a look at the courses given below. If you want to write to me, you can write to me at bharat@bharatingermany.com, or you can reach me out on Instagram at bharatingermany. I'm also active there. Thank you so much for watching this video. Share it with people who do not yet have an idea of how the German elections are going to change the shape of Germany in the future. And we're going to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and till the next time.